Ryan Jarrell here for MMA News, and it's always a great time having my next guest on the show. You know who it is, BKFC heavyweight Big Ben Rothwell, who was supposed to be in action at BKFC 56, taking on Todd Duffee, but an illness caused you to withdraw, Ben. So let's just start there, man. You know, what exactly happened? And I'm sure it's very disappointing for you.
Extremely disappointing. And it's just funny. I'm just talking to some of my coaches right now that work my gym at Rothwell in May. You know, we had seven people show up to jiu-jitsu, and we averaged 30 people in a class. I'm just like, what happened? And there's so many messages of people sick. It's just a really bad time in this area. I don't know what to say. I made a thing. My wife kind of looked at me. She's like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Look it up." Right now in this area, we're having some of the highest cases of COVID and flu ever. Like, it's just crazy right now how many people are sick. There's also a really bad respiratory sickness going around, which thank goodness I didn't get that, because might not even be talking to you right now. Because people are getting that or staying sick for weeks apparently. So it's really bad, scary. I have two little ones, so kind of be on the up and up. I was scared. My son got sick too. So basically he started first, and I was scared already. I already told my management. I called him up. I'm like, I'm not feeling good. It's not looking good. My little guy's laid out. I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm going to gut through this the best I can. And then within a few days, I mean, we were even talking with David, Feldman, about what was going on. And he was even trying to adjust the weight. We were trying to make things work, but it doesn't matter. Weight or not. I know Todd Duffee was caught on the weight class thing. It's like, it doesn't matter what the weight is, dude. If you're laid out sick with the flu, anybody's been sick knows it doesn't matter about any of that. It's like either you can or you can't. And they're like, "Oh, I have a little cold. I couldn't fight." Like, this wasn't the cold. I was laid out with the flu. Like, I don't know if people are, just so lucky they haven't been sick before or what. But anybody that's real knows. And yeah, just my gym being emptied right now is it's a bad sign of how things are around here. So it's just unfortunate. It's a really bad time, but I think we're going to get into this. Mick Terrill went and won the title and had no problem with on Monday, Tuesday. He made a video already saying, "Yeah, let's him and I do this," because him and I had words about a year ago about all of this. So that's really what I want to talk about. Mm-hmm. Ben Rothwell versus Mick Terrill. BKFC title fight needs to happen as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I know the fans would love to see that. And it's great to see you feeling back to yourself again. I live up here in Maine, and same deal. COVID, the flu, it's going around rampant. So a lot of people are being affected by that. Hopefully your family, your little ones, are they okay now? Is everyone feeling healthy?
Thank goodness my kid has an amazing immune system. He's not quite 3 years old, but he's been sick a few times. And man, there'll be a day where my wife's just terrified. He's red. His eyes are red. He'll be laid out sick. And the next day he's already up and around, moving around like nothing. So thank goodness he's a physical brute. Really good immune system, super healthy that way. So he does better than the rest of us. My little baby, she's only 4 months old, and she got kind of sick too. But luckily she's getting over it now. Hers seemed to be a little bit different than ours, even, which is just crazy. I've been in the same house. My wife had tested positive for COVID, and I didn't get it, and it was like crazy. And then the exact same thing happened where I was laid out sick here just this now, and my wife didn't get sick. So there's like no rhyme or reason to any of this.
It really is wild. Well, very happy to hear that everyone's on the up and up and feeling better now. Obviously, you mentioned wanting that heavyweight title fight. Mick Terrill, he beats Arnold Allen after a fourth round KO victory. Were you impressed by his performance? What were your overall thoughts there?
Well, you could tell he was tougher than Adams that night. I think Adams really suffered from not dealing with the elevation. That's what it looked like to me. And Todd Duffee obviously had talked about this fight too. Because we've been there, we fought there. And it's like, man, these are 2-minute rounds. And I fought in 5-minute round MMA fights. Like, it's another animal altogether. And like 2-minute rounds is is something, and these guys are getting exhausted by the third round. There's two things to that, though. It is also the fact that it is only 2 minutes. We go hard. You go much harder. You're not trying to hold back. But at the same time, I've done that in MMA fights too. And 15 minutes, fighting, it's another animal. So it's like the conditioning aspect. I think the MMA guys bring that. Like you're in for a fight with us. Any of the guys that have done the 5-minute rounds over the years, we understand our condition is a little different. Arnold Adams, I don't think has that MMA background, and maybe didn't prepare as well as he should have. And while Mick Terrill, on the other hand, said that I don't know if he went out there, but he made comments something about left his family for a month, so he did something. And you could tell that fight technically, it looked like Adams was owning him the first round. And they hit him with a jab at will. Was technically very good the first round. That was a conditioning aspect. Mick was the tougher guy, refused to go down, refused to quit, and Adams basically just looked like he fell over in the third round just from exhaustion. So I mean, hey, you got to give Mick credit though. He got the job done. Arnold Adams has been, prior to us all getting here and doing all this, he was kind of running rampant in the heavyweight division. I think he has like the most defenses, and had defended it like 3 or 4 times, and kind of was, like I said, kind of stomping through the heavyweight division here, and they even had a win against Mick. So it also shows on Mick's end, yeah, comes back, gets it back, makes it 1-1 between him and Adams, and showed his toughness. So that made me excited to fight him. I think him and I are going to have an absolutely badass fight. That's going to be great for the fans. Two monster heavyweights, and we're two of the biggest guys in there. I think it's a great fight. I might as well just clear up real quick. I know he's getting called out by the Lorenzo Hunt, and that's intriguing to some people. At the end of the day, I told Mick, I'm like, you're going to fight a 185-pound fighter that does nothing for you for the heavyweight division. If Mick wins, he's supposed to win. And if he loses, well, then it's just a disaster for the heavyweight division. So, of course, Lorenzo's pushing for this because Lorenzo has nothing to lose. If he loses, it's a big deal. He goes back to fighting his 85, 205-pound belts. This is, to me, it really comes down to being a novelty fight, so to speak. Unless Lorenzo does some heavyweight fights prior to fighting for the belt. And I think I've already seen a lot of people agree with that. I don't think that's crazy. So if I do get matched up with Mick, then Lorenzo and Todd Duffee, obvious. I want to make sure Todd gets a fight. I'm down. Todd and I are already like, hey man, we're ready to fight each other February. Down for the rematch. Don't think I'm avoiding Todd. Todd and I already have talked about this. We're down. Sign me up. But if they come to us with this proposed like idea of us kind of doing like a tournament, we're about that too. As long as Todd gets a fight too, then I'm good. And these, like I said, at the end of the day, we still all care about each other. Like when we beat the hell out of each other, and fans love to watch it. But at the same time, we're human beings, and this is all over with. And relationships matter, and I want to make sure everybody gets taken care of too.
Yeah, and Todd seems adamant that you have to fight him in February. That's what he wants. You can't blame the guy, right? I mean, you're a huge name. Very well could be the next BKFC heavyweight champion. When you look at that Duffy matchup, because he's a big guy himself, like what did you think was going to transpire in that fight? What did you expect?
It's great. It's a great fight. It's still it's on the table. It's another. We have a fight. Either we're going to do it right away, or Todd beats somebody and I get to fight Mick, and then we fight after. Either way, we have a great fight for the fans coming up with Todd and I. I think he brings a lot to the table. I think he's gonna, we got to get him in there though. He's had some time off, and he's had some injuries in the past. But hey, this is the world about second chances, and Todd trained for this fight. He's dangerous. But what I love about him the most is he fights a lot like me, which is exciting for the fans. Ultimately, my goal is to blow BKFC up. I want to go right behind Mike Perry and Eddie Alvarez, who did an outstanding job in their fight to blow this thing up even more. And our ultimate goal is to get as many people watching BKFC as possible. That's my fighting style. People know what you're going to get when we watch. Todd brings that to the table. Mick Terrill brings that to the table. We got some really good heavyweights to make this division exciting. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy to be excited. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And give me one of those guys. Well, let's make the fans happy.
Obviously, you want to fight for the belt next, but who do you think is the tougher matchup for you? Is it going to be Todd, or do you think it's Mick?
No, it's really a toss up. Both fights are going to be solid. They're both good fights, both tough guys. Todd could have the belt, and Mick could be the challenger. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Because Mick has more experience than me and Todd in bare knuckle. You know, I'm in the middle, and Todd hasn't quite done it yet. But Todd has, fought some of the best in the world, and we know he's known for his hands. So it's give or take. They're both big guys, both athletic, both bringing it. It's going to be a great fight either way.
The last time that we did see you fight, Ben, was all the way back in April. Why such a long layoff?
Because I didn't get to fight last weekend. Getting sick definitely put a damper in it. Outside of that, it's just getting opponents and having the right platform. I would love, right when I get done in April, you heard me. I want to fight again as soon as possible. This is where BKFC's at right now. So when these fight opportunities come, yeah, trust me, this was heartbreaking. And I'm everything my praying. They're saying February, March at the latest. I'm praying that we don't have to wait much longer. And luckily getting sick is better than getting injured. Getting injured, then there's an unknown amount of time off. I'm not injured. I'm healthy. I'm ready to go. So sickness went away. We're back on track, and hopefully we get something booked soon.
In a perfect world, how many fights a year would you like to have for BKFC?
I think 3. I mean, four would be awesome, but I don't know if it's realistic. I think 3 is very doable. I think 3 is a nice spread for the promotion, having time to promote each fight and do things, and for me to be ready. I think 3 is doable. And 1 is not, obviously not enough. I mean, I could have definitely got 2 in this year, but unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. But next year, if we get to fight February, March, I couldn't. I would push very hard to stay healthy, and my goal would be to get 3 in next year. That would be ultimate.
And that would be great. I wanted to get your take on obviously the main event of BKFC 56. Mike Perry beats Eddie Alvarez. And this is something that is really interesting to me, right? Because Eddie Alvarez made it to the mountaintop as a mixed martial artist. He won the UFC lightweight title. And Mike Perry, great fighter, but he didn't have as much success as a mixed martial artist as Eddie Alvarez did. And then here you are in BKFC, and Mike Perry puts it on him. What do you think it is that makes Mike Perry just such tailor-made for this particular?
Whoa, slow down. Put it on him. Eddie Alvarez put it on Mike Perry for the first round, and Platinum knows it, and that's why that fight was freaking insane.
Right.
Eddie absolutely tooled him the first round. Like, I was like, oh shit, because I make it known I back Platinum Perry. I don't care who he fights. He could be a 10-1 underdog. I'm still in his corner because I put a lot of our success and me being here and all that on him. So I got Mike Perry's back, but Eddie Alvarez is awesome. I'm big fan of his as well. So I didn't want to pick anybody, but it was a tough fight for me to watch. But holy shit, did they go out and deliver? Eddie was very skilled in picking the shots and landed just about everything he threw that first round. So it just shows the incredible toughness of Platinum Perry. Like, he's gonna scare some dudes and not wanting to fight him no more because, dude, you're in for a dog fight. Like we called him a dog before, but he kind of got unscathed and was getting the shots through. No, this fight he took all the shots and then stood there and said more. And holy shit, it was an exciting fight. And then the second round, it was Platinum started getting some shots in and kind of showed it. And I still think I don't know. I don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure Eddie landed far more in the second round even. It was just Platinum only had to land a couple shots, like just the power difference. We know that Eddie lots of his success has been the lower weights. Yeah, he put on size, but it's not the same. Like, a smaller guy come up to fight heavyweight it's just not the same as fighting a guy that's been my size my whole life. Like, I just carry a different set of power. And Eddie had a huge hill to climb with Platinum and proved it. Like he hit him with everything, and Platinum was able to take all of it. And then 2, Platinum only had to hit him a couple times, broke his orbital. Like, oh shit! Like, didn't want to see that happen either. Don't And of course Eddie was like, yeah, it's not worth it to keep going. I'm not going to lose my eye over this.
Right.
He didn't need to, man. That fight was awesome.
That was amazing.
And I was watching it on TV, and I've said this forever. Watching on TV is not the same seeing it live. I can't imagine what that crowd was like and what those punches sounded like. It must have been insane in the arena.
I can only imagine. And you're 100% right. I mean, that first round was all Eddie Alvarez, but Mike Perry, the next level toughness that he has, it's just insane. How much longer do you think he can sustain this? Because at some point, everyone's chin goes. Like, how much longer?
He better stop that shit. It was fun to watch. And I'm known for having a hard chin too, but I tell my guys all the time, I'm like, I wish I could have went on, and people are like, I wonder if Ben's got a tough chin, because that means I did something right. Don't get hit. But unfortunately, no, if I get hit, I can take it. I'm the kind of guy, you hit me once, I snap, and I'm going to hit you back 3 times for that. Like, that's my mentality. And as you can see, Platinum is very much like that. You hit him, fine. He's fucking going to come hit you back. Worse. Dangerous, right? We want to be known as being dangerous. Like, you hit us, you're in for it. But don't be taking. He took a lot. I at least want to try to move my head a little more. Like, he was just standing there going, I'm getting hit. Awesome as a fan to watch. I hope we made even more fans. But I'd like to see a little more defense out of him. But you know what? That first round, I've been there, dude. I've been there so many times. I come in cold, and it takes you around to get going. It just happens. It sucks. That was Eddie's chance. You fucking smoke him the first round, put him down. But damn, Platinum was too tough.
And when I say, Platinum put it on him, I guess what I mean is just like the visual at the end of the fight when the corner threw in the towel, like Eddie it just looked real bad. And I loved what the interaction there with his wife being so invested and emotional, and her husband out there as a fighter. To me, I just feel like that interaction and what happened there, I feel like that even elevates BKFC even more, just with that emotional pull that the fan gets to see. What is your take on that?
Bleeding all over her. She's up there at the ringside, and he bleeds all over. She kisses her, and she's got blood all over, and she's just like didn't even. I mean, that's love. Like, she's there for him. I've watched over the years many women come wearing their dresses. You don't even know that they're with the main event or who the guy is. They're there for them. They're there for themselves. You know what I mean? They're there for them. She is not. She's there for her husband. She was there to back him. She took his blood all over her face, and she didn't even bat an eye. That to me was cool. Like, he comes over, you just see the camera, and she's sitting there, and her face was clean. And he comes and kisses her, and Eddie walks away, and her face was covered with her blood. And she just was like, didn't even act like that. To me, that was awesome.
Yeah.
He's got, she's with him, do or die. Like, that's what it's about. So he's got a great relationship. And showing, unfortunately in the combat sports, we get a lot of bad examples, let's just face it, guys, put it out there. I get to cheat on my wife and do this and do that and be a playboy. And it's nice to see a family man with his wife backing him. I bring that. I think, and David Feldman really promotes that, and he knows that I bring that to the table. And I think we need to show our youth, like, hey, you can be a family man and a badass fighter, and take care of your home, take care of your children. Let's put some good examples out there. Eddie brought all of that.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Amen. I mean, perfectly said, Ben. And I love it. That's one of the things that stood out to me the most, actually, about this BKFC 56 event. And, I've interviewed you a couple of times before. We've talked about the growth of BKFC, but, it seems like with every event, it's just getting a little bigger, a little bigger. When you, look at the growth that you've seen over the last year or so with BKFC, since, you've been there with the promotion, and, PFL buying Bellator and merging those rosters together. Do you feel like we're at a place where we're going to have a 3 promotions really that are on equal footing here soon?
Listen, I don't, Dave got, He's very humble, and I love backing him up. I love the way he handles this stuff. He's just like, hey, we're doing our thing. While PFL continuously tries to convince everybody that they're the co-promoter, they're the co-leader of combat sports and stuff like that. When you gotta sit there and talk about it, there's a good chance it's not true. That you learn that when you hear about the guy in the bar and he's talking about all the fights he's been in and how great he is, there's a good chance that guy ain't been in any fights. So when you got to talk about it, there's a good chance. I love it. You know what I mean? I walk somewhere. Do I got to tell people how tough I am? No. The world knows who I am and what I'm about. That's BKFC right now. Dave don't got to sit there and tell everybody. He just letting it sold out arena at Utah do it for him. And the 50-some shows we're promoting around the world. Like, I couldn't be more excited to be. This is, to me, the fastest growing combat sport on the planet right now. And Dave Feldman is just continuously blowing everyone's mind, blowing my mind with all the things he's doing. He's making this international. He's getting the right signings. He's doing the right things. This is awesome. And I just did an interview earlier this week, and someone's like, lead I say BKFC might be the co-leader. I'm like, I love that Dave don't even go there and don't say it, but I believe it. We're the we're blowing up, man. More people get to live events. It's just, I'm telling you, the live events for me, especially as a true combat sport fan, that's it. Because when I went to Denver and they had this epic show, not when I fought in Denver, but the show before, I just went to watch it. That was it. I was sold. All the people, they come up to me, "Bang, can we get a photo?" And I asked them, like, "Cool, yeah, but can you tell me what you think about tonight?" They go, "Oh my God, this is the first one of these I've ever been to. This was incredible, this and that." And I'm like, "Oh, you're a fan." They're like, "We're watching every one of these from here on out." And I'm like, "That's it, man. And it's just been like that. Every show I go to, I keep hearing the same things. I'm sure we just made a whole bunch of fans in Utah and Salt Lake City. That 8,200 people are in the arena. They're fans. Like, I can't imagine. Like I said, I can't imagine what that arena was like with Eddie and Platinum Perry. Like, so I really like where we're going. This is definitely big. And hey, actions are speaking louder than words. We don't have to tell anybody anything. Mm-hmm. People are tuning in. We're selling tickets. This is awesome.
Yeah, actions do speak louder than words. I don't know if this would be a difficult question to answer, but I'm curious, and I wanted to just ask it anyways. So, is there some major similarities or differences between David Feldman and Dana White, two of the bigger, promoters in the world, like as far as combat sports go? What can you kind of compare them at all?
I don't want to be disrespectful to either. David Feldman has repeatedly said, like, hey, Dana White has done some incredible things. And I think Dave's admitted, like, yeah, it's kind of like the Walmart mentality. If you know anything about Walmart's progress becoming an empire, like of retail, they always said Sam Wahlberg went around and learned from his competition. So I kind of look like David Feldman's a smart man, and he learns from his competition. Or I don't even say competition because we're different than MMA, right? We're doing our thing, but he learns from other combat sports that are doing the right things. And I see Dave doing the right things. And I just think he's his own visionary. He's his own entity. And I don't want to compare him to anybody. He's always been very complimentary of UFC and to Dana White, which I think is very smart. Hey, we're not here to compete with anybody. We're just here doing our thing. I think that's very smart. Well, PFL, for instance, doesn't. They constantly talk about UFC. They constantly compare themselves. I just think that's a dead end. Or at least you're going to get some headlines, and they're all going to be negative. And I know the old saying is better to have talking than not talking at all. But I don't know. Negative is still negative. I like BKFC. David Feldman is just, hey, we're just doing our thing, and people like it, and it is what it is. And I just think that's awesome.
Fair enough. People do love it. I saw on a podcast that you were on, I'm not sure what exactly it was. Mike Perry was asking a question, or at least he made a statement that he would like to see you fight Francis Ngannou and bare knuckle. The thought of that, how does that resonate with you if that were to ever come to fruition?
If he went on and got just smoked by Tyson Fury and the PFL needed to build him back, that might have been a possibility. And I was 100% down for it. That's not what happened. Tyson, or basically a lot of people feel he lost. So Francis Ngannou really, really, really shocked the world in a sense. Not everybody, not me, not everybody, but there's a group of naysayers, so to speak, that he shocked, and he got respect out of them, especially the boxing community. And because of that, Francis is going to be either rematching Tyson Fury or fighting one of the other two huge heavyweight boxers, because why wouldn't he?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm in Francis's spot, yeah, I'm going after one of those guys. Whether it's an MMA fight or a boxing match, you have a partner like that, you can get 50, $100 million. He fights me, it's just kind of whatever the PFL is going to pay him. So as a business, but I'm still a threat. I'm sure I'm a 10-1 underdog, but it's like it's still a risk. If I hit him, like that's bad for him, which could happen. So as a business sense, it's not good for Francis. If I'm his manager, I'm definitely trying to get that rematch with Tyson Fury, and maybe Tyson don't even want a part of it. I don't know where Tyson is mentally, but he lost the fight in a lot of people's minds, so it's got to eat at him a little bit. As far as me fighting, of course I'd love to fight. Yeah. It's a huge fight. It's an awesome fight,
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm to be a very good one, lucrative one for you as well. Did you feel like looking at that fight, that Tyson Fury was, I don't want to say that he took him for granted, but he just didn't even look like himself in that fight.
Almost like he did, almost like he didn't even train for him, Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to it. Okay. It's weird, right? It was weird. And definitely shocked a lot of people for his. Yeah, I think he took him for granted. He took him lightly, maybe, so to speak. And I was just laughing because you could tell it's the way it seemed the whole month or two before, like promoting that other fight, kind of the way he was talking about him. Like, yeah, he just didn't take him serious. And what a blow to all of boxing that caused.
Interesting turnout, the way that fight played out. We'll see what happens next. One other fight I wanted to get your take on real quick. Darren Till, Mike Perry. If that happens in BKFC, what are your initial thoughts on that matchup?
I wouldn't have been surprised if that was this last fight. Honestly, I thought that was kind of happening. Darren Till's scared of the bare knuckles. He is, especially with the Luke Rockhold fight. Luke's like, I want to wear gloves. Forget this bare knuckle stuff. It is not for everyone. It is not. Super fan friendly, fun to watch, but as fighters go, this isn't for everybody. I love the training for it because it is training a lot like boxing, but at the same time, you can't train bare knuckle with a sparring partner. You can hit things, but you're not going to spar bare knuckle unless you're totally out of your mind and don't want to fight very much, because right? Common sense. You put little gloves on, but no matter what, it's not the same. The only chance we really get to learn things and figure this out is by the fights. So there's a small window here to learn and figure this out. And you can get your offense very good, hitting pads, doing stuff all you want. But the question that Dave had is, when you get hit, how do you deal with that? So when I got hit in my last fight, right in the first 10 seconds, it cut my eye. That right there can take a lot of guys out of a fight. No problem. It really can. I obviously turned the fight around and, put on a clinic for the next, basically all three. Basically after that, I kind of just took over. But the idea is just don't get hit at all, because it really can change a fight quickly and easily. The bare knuckles are dangerous.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Darren Till, yeah, he doesn't like the bare knuckles. I think he's been open about it. He said he wants to fight platinum, but in boxing or something with hands. So it's going to be kind of hard because, BKFC, this is where we want the Darren Till fight. But I don't think it's going to happen. It's going to happen in BKFC, unfortunately.
Well, that'd be too bad if it doesn't come to fruition. Back to you. So as far as like the perfect time frame, is February the soonest that we can expect to see you back in there?
The soonest date I heard was the February 2nd card. But now it's all kind of been changing as the weeks, already within the week. because it was kind of like me and Todd were getting rebooked February 2nd. That was kind of like the initial, but then with Mick Terrill winning and kind of like talks of the heavyweight fight and who's going to fight who, and things are getting switched around. So fingers crossed. I mean, hey, me and Mick Terrill on the 2nd, but are we co-main event, or is this like, do you save us for another card in February or early March, make us the main event? I wouldn't be surprised if they do a London card early March that me and Mick Terrill could headline. Big Ben in London, telling Mick Terrill what time it is.
I love it. So if you do have to fight Duffy next, is Mick gonna fight someone or before you get that shot, or will he wait until the winner of you and Duffy?
That's right there why I think me and Mick are gonna get made. That's a good question. Like what, because the other heavyweights they're just. I got one other guy that's kind of like ready to step up and do his thing. I promoted him enough, so I'm keeping him out of this because I need to get this fight with Mick Terrill, and then it's open the gates, let whatever happens after that, because I'll take on any of them. I'm confident I'm going to take the belt. Of course I'm confident. I'm confident I'll fight anybody. I'm confident against anybody right now. But I'm confident I can take that belt and I'm going to defend it. So Mick don't want me to stay in that. That's why he needs to fight. Prove it wrong, because I'm pretty sure I'm right.
You've already said that you thought that Mick will give you a tough fight, but ultimately your prediction here, if this fight is next, how do you see it finishing?
Me finishing it. I don't know that it goes past 3 rounds.
Okay. That's exciting. And what would it mean to you, Ben, to finally claim that the BKFC gold to be the heavyweight champion?
It's really what I need for me mentally to activate my ultimate build BKFC, because then I'm going to every event. I want to thrust myself into the fans. Like, I love hanging out with the fans and signing autographs, but to be the BKFC champ and do it would be a lot better. Then they're taking a picture of me with the belt and really building the BKFC. Then I can be the champ that gets out there and gets this thing blowing up, and it would mean a lot to me. So yeah, I really want this. I really want to get that belt, and we know I'm not young, but I think I got a few more fights left in me, and I'd like to do it as the champ.
Can't wait to see you back in there, Ben. Glad to see that you're back feeling yourself again, and everyone in the family is feeling healthy. As always, my man, I appreciate your time. Great talking to you. Before we do sign off here today, if there's anything else you want to plug, anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours, my friend.
First Round Management, they're incredible. They're awesome. They take care of me. Took care of my, them and David Feldman, BKFC, putting my health first, and it really means a lot. I've been through the grinder. I've fought a lot of shady organizations and done something. 20 some years. It wasn't just the UFC. I've been around a lot. I've been on both sides of it, where I've had fights cancel on me, organizations cancel their shows, all the things. So I've been on both sides of this, and just a lot of praise to BKFC and David Feldman for taking care of me, looking to book me another fight soon, understanding the situation. Huge shout out to them. Can Pie Pandas, somebody's seen me wearing their shirts. Of course, Market Cipher. They back me in Platinum Period, and they're awesome people. So shout out to both those companies. Thank you, Abe and Melky, First Round Management. Lastly, and thank you, the media. I'm always thanking you guys for doing what you do, because without you, we don't get the message out there. So thank you so much for doing what you do.